Hello everyone, bit of a different video here. Ignore the background, that's just a teaser for an upcoming series. If you know it, and you know, you know. But anyways, in today's video I want to discuss my favourite film series of all time. And it does have a bit of competition with another series, but I think this one is generally my favourite, and I mentioned it very briefly. I didn't mention it was my favourite, but I mentioned that I've repurchased the entire collection and they're downstairs being viewed over these few weeks, and it's missing from my movie shelf. And yeah, so that film series, if you didn't recognise by the thumbnail, is and yeah, I mean, obviously they're all horror films, or they're classed as horror films, but I mean, like, it's less about, you know, scary stuff like you'd expect in a lot of other horror films. It's more about the, you know, psychological, and what everyone associates with it is the you know, sometimes incessant, but you know, because it's kind of built around it, the gore, which you know, I'm not going to show many clips in this video of that because I just get taken off of YouTube, and I don't want that, especially on this channel. But as you know, on this channel I have done speaking videos in the past. Really, I've only done I've done 4, recounting now. One was a movie review, one of them was a game review, one of them was a character analysis, and the other one was a meme character analysis. But this one, I thought I wanted to talk about it because I've been getting back into the fever recently with Saw. And as I say, I mentioned I've repurchased the films, and I mentioned in a few videos ago I was going to rewatch Saw 6 because I've been rewatching all of them. But when I say I like Saw, I like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 10. I don't want to think about Jigsaw or Spiral as Saw films because generally I hate them both. I don't know, I think it's quite common with a lot of people. If you disagree and you actually enjoy them, let me know. But I say Jigsaw was blimmin' awful. It made no sense chronologically. You know, you had this random apprentice that was actually there from the beginning, which was discussed at the end of the film, in the twist. And even then, like, the twist at the end of the film, you know, with all the Saw films, you know, you get the infamous line, which I've used in the thumbnail, "Game over." And at the end of Jigsaw, he says, "I speak for the dead."
I speak for the dead.
I mean, what is that? It doesn't tell you it's a Saw film. I think it's trying to be a Saw film because, I mean, they got Tobin Bell in it at the end. But I mean, in terms of chronology, you've got glowing eyes, Billy the Puppet, you've got flat screen TVs, and it's kind of hard to place when it was, and it just completely throws you off of the main 7 films, and then now the 10th film coming out, what is it, 3 years ago now? Well, September this year, I guess it would be the 3-year anniversary. I think it was 2023, 2024. No, I think it was 2023, which was really good. I've watched every single one at least 3 or 4 times, and Saw 10 was a great return to format. You had the colour scheme of the originals, you had Tobin Bell being a main part in it, kind of like in Saw 3 or Saw 2, and yeah, the gore was just, it was good, and the traps were great. Spiral, though, the 9th film, wasn't really a Saw film. It was taking bits from Saw, but it wasn't a Saw film, and apparently all the events in Saw had happened by the point that the film is, but it doesn't sit right with me. And anything about that film, especially with the whole, you know, kind of rebranding, not exactly Saw, but you get the gist. If you've seen the film, then you know what I mean. I don't know if it's liked by many or if it's not, but I certainly didn't enjoy it, and I watched that on but because it was in cinemas, but because it was lockdown, we went onto a website and watched it on my mum's phone in front of a little magnifying glass. So we had like big screen, small screen, but yeah, now it's available on, you know, actual places and DVD, but I don't have it on DVD because I don't want to watch it again. I've watched it enough. But no, the original 7 and 10 are peak fiction. I mean, the first one kind of set the standard for what the films were going to be, and I remember when I first watched it, seeing that ending. If you don't know, I'm gonna say it, but you're gonna have to skip forward. So skip forward by about 50 seconds maximum. Okay, so Jigsaw, right? He's in the middle of the room as a dead body, but the two guys in this bathroom don't know that, and they think it's actually the other guy who is he's sitting on these cameras for a little not mirror, but he's seen a recording of the room, and then he comes in at the end, and you're thinking, oh, this guy's Jigsaw, you know, he's gonna shoot him. I'm trying to recall it, but then basically after the guy saws his leg off and he's escaped, and after the not Jigsaw has been pummeled in the face with a toilet lid, the real Jigsaw in the middle of the room, who's been dead the entire time, gets up and, you know, tells Adam
Key to that chain is in the bathtub.
in the bathtub, which was flushed right at the start of the film. And yeah, he then just leaves, close the door,
Game over.
forever in this bathroom, and that's it. Yeah, it was a really good ending. I just remember watching that and be like, I ain't never seen anything like that before. Saw 2 kind of did a similar twist again, and then I thought, after watching Saw 2, hearing that music again, I was like, oh, so these films, all 7 of the films and Jigsaw, which we had on the box set, all of them are going to be ending with the twist. So I was like, trying for the rest of the films, figuring out what could the twist be. And obviously, as the film's gone on, the traps got way worse. I mean, in the first film, it was pretty tame. You had a bathroom trap with 2 guys, their legs were chained, all they had to do was saw their feet off, and then you had a few in between ones, like in flashbacks. You had the reverse bear trap, which, you know, we didn't see the effects of. You got the razor wire trap, which was just a time lapse and with some heavy metal grunge music, and you had this flammable jelly safe trap where this guy has to tread on broken glass while trying not to set fire to himself, looking for a safe code because he's poisoned. I thought it was pretty cool. There was also this other niche one. It was like drills that go through the guy's head that obviously never actually happened because it was for the detectives that went up there. But then Saw 2, you had the house that was you know, there was poison in the house, and you had the several traps in there, like the needle pit. You had the furnace. You had the one where she put her hands in the box like an absolute moron to get this little antidote, and yeah, I thought that was alright. Saw 2's pretty underrated in my view, or overrated. I think I prefer the others to Saw 2. Saw 2's it's an okay sequel, but I wasn't particularly like. I prefer Saw 1. Saw 3 I probably will watch maybe once or twice more in my lifetime before never watching it again. It is the goriest one in my opinion. It's very extreme. There's even an extreme edition which I haven't watched. I think that's more graphic, but the traps in that film, I mean, don't get me wrong, the plot of each Saw film and the whole overarching plot of, you know, Jigsaw, and you've got the police stuff, and then you've got the traps. I think the most interesting stuff is the whole police Jigsaw thing. Maybe not so much, you know, like Saw 6 had the healthcare thing in the background, or Saw 5 had the fire traps. Not the fire traps, but the thing surrounding about the building, you know, being set alight, and all the people that were there being involved. It's not so much them that, you know, interest me. It's more or less, you know, the police plot, because I think that's very interesting. I kind of like that. So yeah, Saw 3, if I was to tell you the traps, there's the it opens up with what's the first trap? It's you got Eric Matthews, who's been kidnapped at the end of Saw 2 because he went to look for his son, who wasn't there. I'm not going to give away the actual big thing for that. So you got him, and he basically smashes his foot in, breaks it, which I don't like broken bones. So you can imagine why I don't like Saw 3. Gets out the chains, go chase down Amanda, and then he gets trapped. Again, he gets basically kidnapped, thrown in a jail cell, and we don't see him till Saw 4. Then you got this one in a classroom with this guy, and he's covered from head to toe in chains, and he's got he's got a chain like through his jaw, and he's got to rip it out. And he's got ones in his arms, in his legs. And he's got to do that in, I think, like a minute, maybe a bit more. I think it's a minute, or this nail bomb will go off. And yeah, so that went off. But the problem is, even if he had escaped, you know, with that, the door was welded, and that's the idea of Saw 3. They're mostly all inescapable, and it introduces this person that's got to go around and help the people win their traps, which is Jeff. And God, I mean, like it's good. I know the memes about Jeff. I know how people call him slow, but I think he's got a reason with the whole dead child background. But yeah, you got then the angel trap, which is just graphic. She's got to dip her hand in acid to get a key, which before it dissolves, and then she's got to like do that with the key to open up this cage around her. But obviously that's rigged, so the cage completely rips her open. Then you've got the freezing one, which isn't that bad. She's just getting frozen into an ice cube. You've got this pig vat where these rotting pigs fall into a shredder or thing, and then all the guts spill out into this vat, which is meant to drown this judge in there. But he gets freed by Jeff, and then after that one is what I consider the one that I will never watch in the entire series. I've seen one bit of it when I very first watched it because I had no clue what it was about, and the minute I saw that first bone completely shatter, I just closed my eyes, put the pillow over my head, covered my ears, and I covered them for about 5 minutes until way after the scene. It's called The Rack, and this guy is in a cross position, kind of like he's being crucified, but each limb will twist, I think 180 degrees, 270 degrees, starting with the arm. So it goes this arm, then leg, then other leg, and then his head, and he's awake for the whole thing. So his arms go, and then his legs go. The legs are the worst bit. I saw a clip on that accidentally on YouTube, and I still remember it. It's blimmin' gory, man. And then his head is the last to go. It twists that way, and then it goes all the way around until he's facing the complete opposite direction. It's not good. And the only way to free him was to get this key in this glass box without pulling the cord on this shotgun, because if he got the key it would have been blasted in the face of the arm, which actually happened to the judge. The judge was there, and Jeff got the key, and then it pulled and then shot the judge in the face, and and then it was too late then, because he couldn't open up the trap because it was just doomed to fail. And yeah, so the end of Saw 3 ended up with a shotgun collar, because the entire time John is having this he's having his brain, well it's not, he's having a skull, it's released pressure in his head, so because he's still got cancer, there's no way of getting rid of that tumour, so he's basically dead, and he does die via Jeff, and that just ends horribly. We'll find out then Saw 4's taking place at the same time. Saw 4's got some graphic ones like the bedroom trap, or there's the knife chair, there's the scalping seat, there's the ice block at the end. I find that quite easy to watch, because I mean, like, it's just 2 ice blocks coming down, and so it's over in a second or so. The mausoleum at the start. Saw 5 is very, very tame, except for the opening trap and the closing trap, I'd say, because the opening one is a pendulum which you can't escape, and then you've got at the end you've got Strum versus the closing walls, and that I just can't watch, because the minute his arm goes, I just but it's not, as I say, it's not the gore that interests me with Saw. I mean, that is quite cool. I think it's the whole philosophical angle and the police plot line. I really like the kind of detective stories, and I mean, it's very enjoyable to watch. It's very investing. Saw 6 is my personal favourite, because you get the aftermath of Strom's death, and then Hoffman, who has taken the mantle of Jigsaw, because he was an apprentice. He basically does his own trap plot, but he also has to avoid the attention of the police and the FBI, which he does. And then you've got Jill, John's ex-wife, who's also involved in this, and it's generally, I think it's got my favourite selection of traps in it. I mean, except the breathing one, but it's got the woman chopping her arm off at the start. It's the pound of flesh, I think it's called. You've got the shotgun carousel, which is my mum's personal favourite, because it's only me and my mum that watches Saw films. My dad ain't too interested because they're too gory, don't like it. My brother, he's only ever seen Saw 3 and Saw 7, so yeah, Saw 7 is on another level of but yeah, and you've got the acid at the end, goes into William's back, splits him in half. Oh, it's great. It's great to watch. I mean, it's not, because I can imagine being there, but And yeah, so Saw 7, great follow-up, but also great ending. I do not like the 3D aspect to it, but other than that, there's some real unfair traps in there to some undeserving people, but it's generally enjoyable. I enjoyed watching that film, even though it's hated among a lot of the people that watch it. It's good. And then Saw 10 is the I'd say it's a magnum opus. It really fleshes out Jigsaw. I like all the traps in it. I like how everyone in them are terrible people, and yeah, it really caps it off as one of my favourite series. They're rewatchable because there's so many little niche details that add to the eventual twist that, you know, is a highlight of the films. And I mean, like the other series I said of films that I enjoy would be the Dollars trilogy, a complete contrast to Saw. But the Dollars trilogy, I like them. I really enjoy them, but there's only 3 of them. And you know, they're a bit more straightforward. You know, a stranger walks into town. There's a gang of criminals or one main criminal, and so you've got Fistful of Dollars, where he's up against I forgot his name now. But he's up against one guy, and then it's the same guy that plays the baddie in For a Few Dollars More. But in For a Few Dollars More, he works with another guy who's a bounty hunter. And then you've got The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, which is the magnum opus of that film series, with Tuco and Angel Eyes. And Angel Eyes is actually the bounty hunter, but he's not the bounty hunter because they're the same actor playing 2 different roles. And I like it. If you can just put that aside and enjoy absolute cinema, then it's a good series. But Saw really... because there's so many films, and because there's so many, you know, plot details, flashbacks, and every film decides to tell you exactly the details of the previous film. I think a lot of people might disagree, saying it's, you know, it's a good horror film series, but there are a lot of other, you know, bigger ones, like you've got the Friday the 13th films, you've got the Nightmare on Elm Street films, you've got Scream, which seems to have been a big thing recently. But no, Saw will always be those films, and especially in the light of the new Saw game, which, you know, would be great if it wasn't multiplayer, and would be great if it was a single player experience like the PS3 games. Yeah, they're a really good film series. I really enjoy them. It's my favourite. They're rewatchable, except Jigsaw and Spiral. If you ever see them on TV, don't record them, don't watch them. Watch just anything that begins with Saw and then a number. Just don't watch Jigsaw and Spiral. But yeah, thanks for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed. This has been a different one, but I thought I wanted to talk about, you know, some films that I've been rewatching and, you know, enjoying recently. And yeah, if you've got any points to say about Saw, make them known in the comments and I will have a look. So thanks for watching. See you all in the next one. Goodbye.
Game over.